Okay, we're here. There's a typo in the stream name. Right, I'll fix it. There we go. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so today is more like debugging and stuff. Because those modifiers, they're pretty good. I think they could be better. We had to test a couple of things. I think. Um, okay, let's fade through to this. So this is our list of things we have left to do. This is pretty much done. It was done in the alpha, but I wanna just make sure it works because if it doesn't work, there could be some problems. And problems are bad. This is just updating the wiki. This is definitely something that I need to add. Um, that shouldn't be that bad. Shouldn't be that bad. This is the modifiers that we just worked on for the past like week or so. This is just wiki documentation, wiki documentation, wiki documentation. And then there's this, being able to read old NBT data. And we're nearly done between lands integration. I think, in fact, I think we're pretty much done. I just want to go and double check and make sure that it's done. And then we also have this bobble stuff. Right, so it's like there's really only like these two things, maybe this too, for like new things. Everything else is just testing everything, making sure that everything else works correctly. Um, Over the past week, I was able to get core mod signing work, so I actually signed the jar. I got this done yesterday. I actually finished it yesterday. So this, I actually now sign the jar in the build Gradle. I signed both the jars. I sign the actual jar, um, which is just the mod itself, and then I sign the jar that has everything like the whole mixin library shadowed in. And it works. It works out well. So we've got all of that done. Um, and I can show you what I've had some work on that wherever. I guess it's not here. So in here, if it'll go. There we go. So in here, I have the public key, right, for the jar signing, and it's checking that fingerprint against what it's supposed to get. And if there's a violation, we'll go to this fingerprint violation event, where if we're running a dev environment, we don't care. Otherwise, we'll set this to true, and then in pre-init, we will go to our proxy and handle the fingerprint violation. Now this fingerprint violation only really matters in the context of like the client, because I want to throw up something on screen and be like, hey, there's a bit of an issue here, so you might want to take a look at it, or you might want to do something, or literally anything. Like give me a sign of life, right? So in the regular proxy, this runs on the server. I don't want to do anything because Forge already handles it pretty much. Forge already throws up a warning in the console saying like, hey, the fingerprint doesn't match. It was expecting this one. It got this one, right? So that's already there. But in the client proxy, on the client side, right, I want to do a little bit more because I want to make it really clear to the end user that this has been altered in a way that I have not done, just in case something were to happen. So I actually check. Well, first off, there's this handler here, which is going to actually open a new screen, and I'll showcase this screen. I'll showcase this screen. So this screen, just shows that there's a fingerprint violation, and there's a couple of stuff. I'll show the screen in a sec. But there is a way, like it checks if there's a certain file inside its own config directory. And if it finds that file, it checks the version of that file, and if it matches, it won't throw up the screen. This is so that you can be like, all right. I know it's not the same, but like whatever, I don't care. Just go ahead. Like I don't want to see this screen anymore, right? So what I can do is I can go into the mod directory. There's this folder called key store. This is for the private key. I can remove this private key and then recreate the jar. That will create the jar with it not being signed, and then we can see that we can see that not being we can see the screen come up. To kind of showcase that a little. I think it's cool. If I can find it, what am I doing? I'm pretty sure if I do a dot disabled. If I do that, now I've renamed it, which means it's no longer going to be able to find it. So that should work. And now we'll go to build libs. We will get rid of these. And now we will run the build. And everything should work. I haven't been able to like thoroughly test this, but from the couple tests that I did, everything seemed to be good. That's pretty good. And in particular, this isn't just like signing any jar, it doesn't matter. Because Forge Gradle re-obfuscates the jar, both the shadowed jar with mixins and the regular jar, you know, me and a couple other people call the thin jar because it doesn't have it doesn't have the mixins shadowed in, so we're just basically I got help from a couple of the developers with RL Craft, and they got me help with this, and they went with this kind of idea of using this archive classifier being set to thin so that this doesn't have the mixins in it because it's a thinner boy, right? So I get it. It makes sense to me. And this is basically what we're. This is the jar. It doesn't have the mixins shadowed in. This is the jar. It does have the mixins shadowed in. I sign both of them because why not? Might as well sign both. I don't need to sign the sources jar. Also, I don't even know where I would find the sources jar. Um, but I don't need to sign it. It doesn't matter. So this is built, right? And as you can see, the sign jars is being done last. It's the last thing that has to be done because it has to be signed after it's reobfuscated, or else it's not gonna match, and we're gonna get a problem. So we don't want to do that. Now what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna open this folder. So we've built it, right? Great, lovely, awesome. But importantly, it's not signed. Why is that important? It's important because if I put the not signed jar in here and then I run it, we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna wide craft it up and we're gonna see it happen. It's gonna pop up a warning screen, which is really cool. I actually thought designing the warning screen would be a lot harder than it was, but thankfully I knew of a mod that did something very similar. Well, it's sort of a similar thing. It popped up a screen when you load the game, not related to a fingerprint violation, but for relating to configuring it, right? Quark is a mod that does that. So I went and I looked at Quark and I'm like, all right, how do you do this, right? And I did a little adaptation, and so I adapted their screen or some of the logic and process that they did to this thing, which hopefully this shows up correctly. I'm not convinced. There's a good chance that I may have just completely borked it. I mean, I didn't touch it. When I tested it, I got it to work. I was like, okay, it's now like 8 o'clock. I have to stop this because I have other stuff I need to do. Right? So I didn't mess with it, so it should be fine. But I make no such promises. All right, we're gonna wide craft. We're gonna wide. We're gonna wide. Yeah, we're gonna wide. All right, now we need to unwide it. We need to make it legit. Um, because yeah. And now it's not responding, which is awesome. That's what you'll have to see. Okay, I'm good. And it's not gonna show up anything until the very end when it finishes up. It's gonna pop a little screen. Gonna pop up a little screen like this. Saying we had a fingerprint mismatch. And it describes that it means that the mod's code has been altered in a way that I don't intend. It could be tampered with. Now, it's very easy to bypass this, and that's not the intent. The intent is to just make sure that the code running. It's a very quick and dirty sanity check, sort of, to make sure it hasn't been changed in a way that it's not supposed to. Um, but if there's some end user who's altering the mod, they should be expecting this message to show up, in which case they can just ignore it because they know what they're doing. If you opt to ignore this message, it will not be shown again for this version. You can go to the official mod pages for the mod. So basically, if you click these two buttons, it'll actually open the mod page on CurseForge and Modrinth, which is great because now I have links in the mod to its own download pages, which is nice. There's also this ignore this, I know what I'm doing button. And if you click this, it will just proceed to the title screen. Perfectly fine. But in the config file, in the config directory, it creates that fingerprint file I talked about, which just stamps basically the version. And if it finds that file, it checks to see if the version matches. If the version matches, it won't throw the warning again. So now it won't throw the warning again, which is great. However, I want it to continue to throw a warning if that warning were to show up again, because I want to know if I want to make sure that that's working correctly. So I'm going to go back to the key store, and I'm going to rename this key stored to just that. And that was basically that. That was basically the jar signing whole thing. Whole thing. All right. So now you don't need to worry about that. So this screen, as I showcased, it has some logic for a couple buttons and stuff. But you basically saw what the screen did. So yeah, that is that. Now what I want to do is I want to go and so we did that. I now need to go and finish testing these capability modifier things. Make sure that they work. Right. So let's see. Let's make a couple more things here that we can use to test it. We'll make it for a couple of other things as well, like armor modifiers as well and stuff like that. So we're gonna open up Atom here. And we're gonna point it towards the script folder for the DDD instance. I realize I'm gonna have to rebuild the jar probably. Okay, okay. Okay, now we will open the folder. Okay, perfect. Now we can bring this over. Just like this. All right, through to here. So we had this, right? This was the item modifier that had this. We also had this one here. I think I have to do this, yeah. We also had this one here. Um, Now the priorities were the same, right? But now let's make another one. Something that can apply to like tinker weapons as well. Oh wait, no, we already have something that can apply to tinker weapons. This. Um, Whoops. No, bro. Select that thing. My goodness. Yeah, I need you to tab for that. Create. There we go. Okay, so now let's create another one. What can I test here? Oh, let's do one that works on based off durability. Why not? That sounds pretty interesting. We'll even set it to reallocate, and we'll do a builder.set mod bludgeoning to be yeah, we'll reallocate like 25% of the weapon damage to bludgeoning if it's low durability because it's dull. Why not? It's interesting. Applicable. That's going to be a function that takes the item stack. And now this is where I need to open the Craft Tweaker wiki. Item stack. Okay. So we're gonna return damage, or whoops, stack.damage divided by stack.max damage. Can I cast this? Huh. That's interesting. Um, because this is an integer and this is an integer. So I need this to be a float. What if I do this plus... Well, actually, hold on. I can always check. No, it's not going to return a float, though. I know this. I don't think I can cast to a float like that. I mean, I could try. So it should convert that. If this is less than or equal to 0.25 times stack dot max damage. I need a semicolon there. Interesting that this doesn't get like that. Does that mean I messed something up? Or is that just the way that is? Probably just the way that is. Okay. We're gonna check to see if that works. It might not, but that's fine. Because we can fix it. And it's gonna reallocate. In fact, also, I need to set the priority. Builder.priority equals -1. This should occur last. Whatever that was, I didn't want to do it. Okay, I don't need that. Drag this over here. And now launch this. The screen shouldn't show up, right? Yeah, it doesn't. Perfect. It crashed? I might be an idiot. What, how stupid am I? Wait a second. Something's gone wrong. Um, and I don't know how I managed that. It's right in here. Compared to. What? I think this is what I meant to do. So that it does this implementation of it. Because this is an I priority, so compared to that, I'm surprised that never caused any problems last time. Wait, what the heck? How does that, how did that not cause any problems? That's so weird. And then if the result is 0, and this is an instance of the cap modifier, then we're gonna cast it, and now if this should reallocate, we want to prioritize non-reallocating ones. And if this should not reallocate, then if that one should reallocate, this is less than. Because the reallocating one should be done first. Reallocated modifiers are applied before the non-reallocating modifiers. Good to know. I documented that. Wow, good for me. I don't know how that didn't break the universe last time. That's hilarious. And doesn't make any sense. I could write this a little bit better. Oops. Not 0. Oh. If all I need is that boolean, I can just extract that boolean directly and then just be good to go. I think because they both had priority 0, they were equal, so it never actually ran that code. That's fascinating. Wow, you really can never be too careful. That's wild. Alright, let's not do that. My core mod is not signed. Dang it. Why am I not signed? You skipped the signing process. Either that or something happened. I probably skipped it because I left that one there. Yeah, that makes sense, but doesn't. That's annoying. But it didn't throw the thing up. Oh, because the indicator file is there. I guess I didn't delete it. That's fair. Did I seriously just get a Stack Overflow again? I got Stack Overflow again? Why did I get Stack Overflow again? Because it's the same thing. Wait, but shouldn't this... Am I bad? Wait, I think I can do I priority dot super. There we go. That makes sense. Now this will do integer dot compare with the priorities, and then it'll do this. That has to make sense. Okay, this has to make sense. Now we're gonna go here, here. There is a decent chance that that was also because I did not throw the new jar in the folder. Good for me. Non-zero chance that was a problem. But I like this better. Because this is what I'm supposed to be doing here. I don't know what the heck I was trying before casting it. Ooh, it was weird. Okay, it built. It built, it built, it built. It built, it built, it built. It built, it built, it built, it built, it built, it built, it built. Okay. Now it's going to say it's not signed still. Now that one's interesting. I do not know why that is happening. That is, beans. Really weird. It's not, we literally just had it sign the jar. Literally just had to do it, and now it doesn't want to do it. That's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Wait, what do you mean? Shouldn't this, wow, it doesn't save? It does here. Wow, that's really interesting. Really don't like how that's like that. Don't do that one. That's fine. Oops, go like this. So now this is like that, and now we add 50% onto it, so it's gonna have to decrease. What is this? What is that? Okay, well, we're gonna have to fix that as well. Pretty sure it doesn't consume durability if I do this, right? Yeah, it doesn't. I need to go. Actually, just give me leaf blocks. Or cobweb. Sure. Oh, this is bludgeoning slashing anyway. Why is that bludgeoning slashing? That's so weird. These are the same. Oh, I see what's happening. What's happening is the script isn't working. Lovely. I find it interesting that... Oh, I might be... I might be trying... I might be talking in two different languages. And then I'm just talking past each other. Yeah, okay. The stack damage has to be less than or equal to a quarter of the max damage. That makes sense. What I don't know is why it's only applying a 20% modification here instead of a 25% modification, because it should be reallocating a 25% modification, but it's not. Which is really fascinating if you think about it, because I don't know how you mess up that math. But surprisingly, Surprisingly, that still isn't... It's like the moment it has a chance to update. Mod updating damage distribution. This is what I need. Was that just like a steady state that we reached here? Let's do this. We do this. This get updated weights is where it computes the biased maps and does all of this stuff, right? And it returns an optional map there. So that's fine. And then if we get the updated weights and that's present, then we're going to set the new weights to that and update original weights to current weights, which is going to basically set that to that. I see what's happening here. We need to not, well, we need to apply, yes, but now we need to also filter because I need to make sure that the weights are should be applied. If it should be applied. Because in this one, in this Tinker damage distribution, we have a collection of cached keys. But we can't do that there because I'm just left with a map. And we compute biased maps. But in that case, the size is not 0 for some reason. We could add another check and check to see if this map matches the original. Because if they match, then don't do that, because then we're gonna overwrite any existing modifiers. So we'll do that. I want to filter this map. Wow, I don't want to do that. I said I don't want to do that. Do that like this. Now here, I need to filter to do this dot original. Dot entry set dot equals okay. If it's not equal, i.e. the original map is different, then, and only then, does it make sense to set the new weights and update the original weights to current weights. Even though, in this context, it should return an empty set because the cached keys... I guess the cached keys are null. It'll still set that, but we need to have this other secondary check, I suppose. I guess, maybe. I mean, eh. I mean, that might work. That should probably work for that. I hope that works for that. Now, there's a different question entirely. On the modifier registries? No, not the modifier registries. The modifier registry. That's fine. Oh wait, I need to go to the distribution modifier registry. Okay. Now, what I'm curious is, does it like hit a steady stage? So I'd take 25% to bludgeoning. If it should reallocate, the additional weight to subtract should be the values divided by the size. Or sum up the values and divide it by the size for the modifier. In which case, the size is 1, and the values is 25. Weights.values.stream.filter. If f is less than the initial weight to subtract, then we map weights.values.stream.filter. F is not less than the initial weight to subtract, because the initial weight to subtract should be 0.25, and F should be 1. I'm talking about the gold sword, which had a weight of 100 slashing. So that's 0. Weights.replace all. I will be right back. I need to figure out where this is. Here we are. Wait, no, that's the wrong thing. It should be here. Bada-boop. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let me get this down. So let's see, where was I? I summed that up. That was 25. So I replace it with the weight minus 25. Wait, weights.replace all. This is this minus 25. And now it adds 25 bludgeoning to the thing. Place each entry's value with the result of invoking the given function on that entry until all entries have been processed. So it should be subtracting the max of 0 and the weight minus the weight to subtract. The weight to subtract is 0. Oh, dude, I am confused. Weight to subtract is 0. Maybe it doesn't need to be 0.0. Hold on. I might have goofed. So this is this weight is going to be set to itself, which is absolutely why that's not right. However, if I set this to the initial weight to subtract instead, then it's going to subtract 25, which is going to be right. Is that what I want to do? Filter those and map those and reduce them. Weight set values touch stream. Filter that. If the weight is less than that, then we're going to map it to the reverse. And we're going to sum them up. And let's say we had a weight of 20, right? We get the weight of 20, and we're going to apply a weight of 25. It's less than, so we're going to map it to 25 minus 20, which is going to be 5, 0.05. I didn't finish this thought process here. That's hilarious. Should this be over weights dot size? Not modifier dot size? Because we have to subtract. This is the weight to subtract. We need to subtract an equal amount from every single one. Alright, so it takes this, it sums up all the values of the weights that it's applying, divide it by the number of different weights that it needs to subtract from to get the initial weight that it should subtract from each weight. Then we're going to check for all the weights that are less than that, and we're going to map that to that. And this is the amount that we should subtract from all the weights that don't satisfy this predicate. So then in here, I need to do weights dot Weights dot entry set dot stream dot filter. E has to go to E dot get value is greater than or equal to initial weight to subtract. But then it's not going to be if it's strictly greater than. Right, so like what I'm thinking is that like if one of the weights is smaller, then I want to subtract that difference of how much it's smaller by from the other weights. However, if that then makes another weight smaller, then I have to do it again. There's got to be a better way to do that. What if I just took the weight, I subtracted it from everything, and then if one of the weights are negative, then I add the reverse to it. Like I set it to 0, and I keep track of that amount. Or I guess I remove it. Add that, and then keep doing that until it's all thing. Right, so what I'm thinking is that I do for EDD damage type. I have to do it like this in weights dot key set. Initial weight to subtract, right? We do that, right? We put this type, we put that there. Then, what does this give? The previous value associated with the key. If this is less than initial weight, or I guess less than equal to subtract, put this here. put this all in here. Right, and we're gonna put this in a do while. We do this, and then we have float new weight to subtract equals 0.0f. And now what we do is we're gonna do new weight to subtract. So we're gonna have to add to that the difference between the initial weight to subtract and the last weight. So in this case, it would add 0.05, right? So in the case of like 20 and 25, right? The last weight is 0.2, and we put 0.0, we put negative 0.05. And now we're going to put 0.25 minus 0.2. That's going to be 0.05. I'm going to put that there. Okay, good. And now we do, and this is why we need the actual for each loop instead of just like a stream or whatever, because we're going to do weights.remove the type. We're going to remove the type during iteration, and that's important. Actually, and the map is modified while an iteration over the set is in progress. Dang it, bro. Whatever. Have a set of types to remove. Yeah. Hi. I'll put this here. And now I'll add the type here. So I can't do that. Thank you for your redeem. Hello. So now I need to... Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Now I gotta set the initial weight to remove. Nope. The new weight to subtract. You set it equal to that. And now what we do is, so basically what happens is it goes in here, it's going to subtract each of the weights. If it exceeds the weight that was there, we're going to set it to be removed. We're going to set ourselves to loop. Now I'll also do types to remove dot clear. I might not actually even need this flag here. Wait, I can do this so much better. Oh my gosh. Look at this. We do types to remove dot clear here, it doesn't matter. And now we do types to remove dot size is greater than 0. This means we remove the type, and then we do it there. Oh, I'm a genius. So types to remove, we add this. So in this case, it would add bludgeoning there, and it would set that to be the additional weight to subtract, which would be 0.05. And then it would subtract. Assuming we had to remove, assuming we were applying 50% weight to an iron sword which has a 20-80 distribution, right? That means we should subtract 25% from each one because that makes sense. Now, for the piercing, that has a weight of 20. So that gives us a weight of -5. So we set that to be removed, and we set the new weight to subtract equal to that to accommodate for that. And then we remove each one from the weight map, and then we set this initial weight to subtract to be that new thing. And then since the types to remove size is greater than 0 because we added something, we loop back to the beginning where we clear the set, do the whole process again, keep doing that over and over. In this case, the initial weight to subtract is going to be equal to our new weight to subtract. Now, what if our initial weight to subtract is greater than like 1? Then what do we do then? In which case, it's just going to remove everything from the map. Which is totally fine. Because eventually it won't be able to iterate because the key set will be empty. So I think that actually works out. I'm confident that works out. I'm pretty confident. And then in this case, what it's going to do is that it's going to, for our sword, where it's going to add that thing, it's gonna do that. Okay. We fixed. We just fixed, okay? We just fixed. All right. I'm confident now. I think I fixed it. Now this makes sense. I have shown the inner workings of my brain. It's very horrifying. which means it's a miracle that I've gotten this far. But, you know, we're good somewhere. All right. Now, yeet. And, you're still gonna be complaining that you're not signed, right? Bro, you're like so cringe. Sign my jar. Give me your autograph. Do it. Do it. Dude, if there's no autograph here, I'm pissed. I now know how fans feel, just in general. I'm not saying I have any fans that want my signature. I'm just saying I now know how they feel. Sign my jar. Okay, oh, cause there's a thing. Actually, you know what? You know, I'll show you. I will show you. I showed this off earlier, but I'll show it again. It was really interesting. So if let me just yeet this file so that I can actually do this. So if I launch the game and it detects that it's not signed, which it detects, and I don't know why it's not doing that. It's not signing it. I feel like something may have gotten slightly borked by something that I did, so I might have to redo the signature process all over again because I slightly borked it. But check this out. If the jar's not signed, which Forge complains about because I have a core mod because I have mixins, right? It'll throw this screen up before we go to the title screen. When it gets there. Let me pop that up. It says that it finds a fingerprint mismatch. And it describes what that could mean. It means that the code was altered in a way that I didn't intend. Which could mean that it was tampered by a third party, or it could mean that it was altered in some way that, you know, was unforeseen. Just warn people, say, hey. No, now, if there was a really malicious third party, they could very easily circumvent this. This is not supposed to be a security measure whatsoever. This is just supposed to be a sanity check to make sure the code is what it's expecting to be, and not at all a security measure. But so that end users know that this code isn't my code, I pop this up, and then you can open the actual mod page. You click these buttons, it'll actually take you to the mod pages. This will just straight up close the game. I know. A button that says close game closes the game. And if you click this button, it will take you to the title screen, and it adds a file to the config directory, which stamps the version. And if it finds that file when it detects a fingerprint mismatch and the version matches its version, then it doesn't show up the screen anymore. So it's like you know, like I don't want to see this again kind of thing. So that's cool. It's just not. It's not giving me the autograph. I think because I renamed the key store file, it might have corrupted it slightly. Though I really wish it didn't do that. In which case, I might now need to go and redo that process, which means I want to shoot myself because that's really annoying. But that's fine. I'll fix it. I'll fix it. Probably. Maybe not. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway. So this thing is still not working correctly, but we'll fix that later. So this is now correct. It's part slashing and radiant, right? But now if I get it to... If I get it to less than 25% durability, which I think would be less than 8 durability, or it just won't work at all. Well. That's not right. It's making it 0. Dude, I don't want you to do that. I want you to cast it to a frickin' thing, dude. Cast it to a double, cast it to a float, cast it to literally anything other than int, bro. But I don't think you can cast like that in Zen script. I really hope you can, or else I'm gonna be upset. Um, Either way, I now wish to double check if I apply the whole renaming process here. Not Yeep. See, now it says, now this Tinker Sword says it does the example damage because it has the thing, right? But I guarantee you give it like 5 seconds or whatever, and it's gonna go back. It did go back. Why do you go back, bro? Why do you go back? That's so weird. I don't know why it's doing that. Um, so that's definitely something that needs to be fixed. Along with this, that's not supposed to be there. Okay, well, is there any other? Yeah, right there. See, that's not supposed to do the thing. Okay, there is a context in which it is trying to draw icons when it shouldn't. And you know what? That is not funny. But too bad, right? This is the world we live in. Okay. But there should be a way to fix that. We're gonna take a look at that, see if we can fix that, and then we're gonna check to see if fixing the script fixed the problem. And hopefully that worked. So, this is good, this is good. Now we go here. So what's your major malfunction, bro? This should just this should just work. I don't understand. How how does one even? Just absolutely fascinating. It gets the updated weights and then applies the super dot update. Absolutely fascinating, bro. I have not a clue. Not a clue in my mind. I guess I should also check to see if other things are having the same problem. Alright. Well, oh, the icon aggregator thing. Let's do that. So why are there icons being drawn? Okay, there's got to be something that I can use to help me with this. So let's see. This it shouldn't even fire, like we shouldn't even get here. Because we need to That's fascinating, bro. Um, this is under an icon aggregator, which is this thing, right? Okay. So let's say it's doing this. Okay, it's a distribution icon aggregator. Sure enough, dude. Wait, what? If there's no capability, there's nothing to draw. If there's nothing to draw, then there's nothing to do. Why are you drawing clubs, bro? Stop smacking people unintentionally, bro. This is not okay. I need to figure out why it's doing that. Get icons to draw. Should show icons. Do this. Stream to iterate. This start Y. Yeah. Get ordered types. Collect icon. New. New icon. Okay, but that makes no sense. Unless this is not the problem. Oh, what if this is not the problem? Oh, that could make sense. It might be instead that the problem is whatever thing. This. Applicable. This format is streamed at any match. F.applicable. Okay. Register mod compat formatter. Alright. We're going on a journey. We're gonna go digging. We're going on an adventure into the integration thing. So nothing craft tweaker related, definitely. Nothing first aid related, because first aid doesn't have the thing. Nothing Huela related, because Huela is its own thing. Could potentially be something Lycanites related, if I go to the integration here. We need... Where is it? Oh, yeah. Spawn item resistance formatter and spawn item damage formatter. Applicable is t.get item instance of custom spawn egg, which oh wait, that's for that. Mob damage distribution icon aggregator. This is wait, what? Get applicable formatters for getting icons. Getting applicable formatters is getting formatters, and then we get the icon aggregator. Oh wait, yeah. So we get applicable formatters, and we map it to the icon aggregators. Okay, so this is an applicable formatter that returns its own icon aggregator. And it checks to see if it's applicable by getting a t.getItem. It's probably like item stack.air in that instance. I could see that. There is an option here. Um, do you have any mod compat things? No, you don't. Whoa, that's wild, bro. Oh, wait. Go here. You have an icon aggregator. Open a type hierarchy for icon. No. Open a type hierarchy for iModCompat tooltip formatter. Boom. There we go. And we can see which ones. Okay, yeah, see we have some stuff here. So the plates formatter, applicable. Oh, that's for the armor formatter. Only if it's Tinker's armor. So borrow. Plates formatter, applicable only if it's an armor part, and it has a use for the plates. And the tool part formatter. I don't even know where it's applicable thing here. Oh, here it is, down here. None of that makes sense. So it can't be, because we're doing that. So then it's gotta be something here. Where's my tooltip handler? Where'd I put this? I'm doing tooltip distributor.get distributor. It gets a tooltip distributor to get, and we do get icons. Okay. Tooltip distributor. There's a get icons right here. Okay. Okay, so now what I want to check. Now we have this tooltip maker for getting icons. Let's debug it. Distributor dot to string. Well, at least know which one, whether it's the modcompat one or not. I could definitely do like, oh, if it's itemstack.air, then just don't do it. But I also can't actually verify that that's actually what's going on here. Um, so debug event dot get stack dot get item dot to string, sure. Oh, this does not have a Two-string representation. We don't want to do that. I could do the translation key. That could definitely work. It would tell me what it is. Okay, yeah, get the translation key. Because it'll be like item stack dot error or whatever the heck. I don't know. It'll at least be something. It'll at least tell me something. We'll do that, we'll do that. That was for that. And then I fixed that other thing, and then there was one other thing. I don't remember what it was. And that's fine. If I don't remember what it was, then I'm just gonna keep going. So I tested and that. Oh yeah, it was a Tinker's thing. Yeah. Why are you the way you are? Very philosophical. Assuming that that's even the problem, right? Like, what if this is actually not the problem? Wait, maybe. I can't spell original. Okay, that should give me a bit more information. Did I click assemble? God damn it, I don't want to click assemble, I want to click build. I kill me. I can't even tell it to stop. I just have to wait for it to go. I don't know if it made any difference. Build, bro. Build. Not assemble. Wait. I don't actually know if it's done. Oh, it is done, okay. Yeah, sure, replace it. Now it's still not signed. I don't know why it's not doing that either. Because yesterday you worked. I'll need to look into that. Ah, huh. I knew that would be a problem. We can't cast it. Oh, we can. I just forgot how we were supposed to do that. We have to do as double, probably. Okay, so that's that whole thing. Item.tconstruct.broadsword. Okay, yeah, sure. What do you say for this one? Oh wait, no, not this one. This one. Tile.air. Tile.air. I was right. But also the base one is being applied. This one's being applied. Oh, because applicable always returns true. Always returns true. So then the question is, why are you like this? Okay, well, okay, let's wait. No, you're not supposed to be like that. You're supposed to, bro. Oh, now you don't even want to. That's hilarious. Wait. Oh, you won't because everything's broken. Right, because the script broke. Duh, that makes sense. Wait, hold on. Can I do /CT syntax? Okay, syntax for script is correct. Perfect. Might as well save myself the hassle there. And now launch the game again. Alright. And now, okay, this is now showing up the right stuff. Open the console. Oh, bro. Oh, wait. I'd do this. Oh, that's for icon aggregators, so it doesn't matter. Oh, wait, but I can test the durability thing. Yeah, let's do that. Oopsies. And then grab me a smite. Alright, so right now this is slashing. And now if I damage it a little bit more. It's not gonna work still, which is awesome. That's not the right block. This does put this here at the, but it no work. Oh, I think I need stack.damage as double. I think I need to cast that as double as well. So that it makes a comparison to both as double, or else it will... That's really, really silly. Okay. That's good. Unless... No. It loads. Stack.damage as double, less than equal to 0.25 times stack.max damage as double. That should definitely work. Okay. So now when we come back, this thing should probably get a 25% bludgeoning thing. Hopefully. Um, that's that. Now, what I could do is for the tooltip distributor, it returns 1 no matter what. So that's the thing. The stack needs to be non-empty. If the stack is empty, then there's nothing to do. Get item stack. Dot is empty. Okay. Let's just add those two checks there so that it won't even attempt to do any of this nonsense if the stack is empty. This means if you have air in your hand, I'm sorry you're out of luck. You don't get to see the damage distribution for air. Tragic, I know. I don't care. You can figure out the damage the air does yourself. However, this one here, this is the fascinating one because it's actually not doing this. It's not doing this. Because I'm not seeing this in the console. So, that means the original map equals this. Maybe I need this map. No. If the original map doesn't match, then do this. Well, that's fascinating, bro. Okay, so that'll fix that thing. And I fixed the script too. I swear I fixed the script. I promise. Let's build this thing and make sure this works. Do that. I'm gonna just delete this, build this. I'll have to check the jar signing off stream again, because that's really annoying. And now let's go. Do, 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 do. That's nice. Okay. A script should work now. Everything should be good. I promise this works this time. At least in the regard of this. The script. And the random clubs showing up. That too. Script doesn't work. Dang it. But I can jam shift all I want. It's not going to show up here, which is good. So that's at least that fixed. Now what the hell is this? You know what? I should just have print statements. Print stack dot damage as double, sure. And then print 0.25 times stack dot max damage as double. I do stack dot max damage as double, or do I do 0.25 times stack dot max damage as double? I have no clue, but whatever. Well, I should do the exact same thing I did before, which is I put parentheses here and here. Now, this probably is giving me 0, which is, of course, lovely. Let's aluminum ore chunk from X and Helio in a redstone furnace. Redstone furnace. Nope. Wait, really? That doesn't work? I guess not. My only experience with X Nihilio is... Well, actually, I have a bit. I have some experience from, like, Compact Claustrophobia and also Stoneblock, and I swore it worked. But then again, maybe they added it. That's also really weird. Does the ore chunk not count as, like, ore? Is it not, like, ore dicted? Wait, so now does... If I... Hold on, if I rename this thing. And now I do this. Like, these. Okay, you say that your original is slashing bludgeoning. And now you're back to normal. Why? You didn't even say anything that time. But now you say that here. What? I am very confused. Exoplanet's metal furnace also doesn't give any aluminum dust. And aluminum dust and Orchard titanium dust don't show up in JI. I can't add them either. I guess they're like added independently. Or like after JI registers, but that's really weird. It should be added before. Then again, I feel like most space mods, they do their best, but sometimes they just do things really weirdly. Okay, that just did slashing and force. It's not just like a visual thing. Wow, and it's saying it's... I guess it can't do that, but it can do that. What? What? Okay, well at least this part's like correct, but like why are you now adding 25 bludgeoning to things? That's so fascinating. Wow, that's really interesting, because I have no idea. No! Oh! Oh! Actually, wait, no, it does make sense. I thought I figured it out. I did not. Oh, that might depend on something I did before. Oh, hold on. Unideck feels like trolling. That's unfortunate. And this does this. Hmm. I kind of want, this to not have to do this. Problem is that when it does this, it copies it. And copying it creates a new one, which then checks to see if it's valid by creating a new one again, which is annoying. and there's no way to differentiate it. So I don't want it to copy. Create non-copy? But I can't be sure that it won't be changed. Get item stack mutable. The mutable item stack. Hmm. I think there's a better way to do this. I mean, this seems like Welcome back. Welcome back. I mean, I can't verify that those have problems. Okay, you know what? That still doesn't explain that part, but like one ridiculous thing at a time. Why is it applying why is it applying my durability script when it shouldn't be? Oh, I think that's not the damage it has left, but rather the damage it's taken. That could be absolutely wild in concept. I love the Widecraft. Widecraft is great. Always appreciate the Widecraft cameo. You're joking. Oh my gosh, you're not joking. That's cool. Stack dot max damage minus stack dot damage. Cast that to double. That should be less than that, I believe. Hopefully, probably. We hope. All right, once more from the top. Let's go. Okay. Now it's right. Now it's right. It's reverse, right? So wait, this now says the thing. That's so crazy. I don't know why. Okay, so now that the script works. This works? It's doing example damage. What did I do differently? What did I do differently? I have no clue what I did differently. Oh, I would need modifier slots. That makes sensu. Right, and now what changed? Okay. This should be adding a 50% thing on top and then scaling it. Oops. Welcome to the stream, Max Tom. Hi, how you doing? Things are going interestingly. Okay, so apparently no one likes hardcore questing mode. That's so sad. Wait, I might be able to suss some stuff out. What if I take you? You're 51 slashing and 49 force. Okay, but that's a little bit better to work with. And then I add 50%. And then, so these should all be about 33%. If I rename it, should all be about 33%, right? Yeah, they are. Okay. So this does work. Yeah, because that it has to. And here it adds that, and it needs to distribute that at the same ratio. Oh, because it's adding to that. Whereas in this case, it's actually adding to 200. In this case, adding to 150, 150, 150. Oh, whoa, whoa. I get it. Okay, it works. It works? I don't know where that went. It's just gone now. Okay, cool. Interestingly, because it this like modifier thing, when I rename it to me, I wrote a script where it will add this example damage on it. But for some reason, it doesn't always stick around. Okay, that did slashing, bludgeoning, example, force. Projectile distribution was 100% bludgeoning. Interesting. It's doing slashing, bludgeoning, example, and force. Why is it doing part bludgeoning? Why are you doing part bludgeoning? Do I have a script that's doing that? I don't. Okay. Why are you doing part bludgeoning? Force, slashing, bludgeoning, example. But why? Why are you like 17% bludgeoning? For no reason. That's weird. Oh, is it because... Wait, hold on. 16.67 bludgeoning, 28 slashing, 27 or like 28 example, 27 force. Okay, it's applying this distribution. Why? I mean, that's less of a problem of DDD and more of a problem of the script. sort of. I mean, it could be related to the Tinkers thing. Let's take a look at that. Okay, that's fascinating. If it goes here, hmm. That's just a way of how Tinkers is doing this. It sets, but how, when does it do this? Ah ha ha. And when is the entity shuriken called? Get projectile. Get projectile is called on item right click. Gets this item stack. And then get projectile. Get projectile stack. Reference.setCount1. Ooh, woo, 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 woo. I knew you did that, you scumbag. Alright, that's fine. It doesn't matter. That's not relevant. That's just for that. So either way, it still works. That worked. My item modifier worked, but I didn't even do anything different. We set the new map. Then why is it saying that it was that? It should really be... Unless it's not. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna check. We have Lycanites. Let's see if Lycanites can handle this. If it can, then I'm not sure what the hell's going on. Maybe it's just a thing with Tinkers and the way Tinkers handles it, but like it still technically works. So, uh, it is absolutely fascinating. Yeah, there's no Spartan or Lycanites thing. You know what? Just copy the configs from the other thing. Just copy that in. Source, main, resources. No. Run. Config here. Okay, so damage and projectiles. This is weapon-based damage. Okay, so now I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go to the weapon-based damage for these. That's for mobs. That's for projectiles. This is for weapons. Because the thing changed, oh, I might want to add the, where is it? Config, default values. This is for mob-based resist, projectile-based damage. This is for weapon-based damage, right here. I also want to change this to the Rager Blade. Because Lycanite renamed the Zephyr Blade to the Rager Blade, which means anything that relied on the Zephyr Blade doesn't work. But I want to be compatible with both versions, so I'm going to put both there. Okay. Cool beans. All right, now I'm just gonna very quickly just do a little bit of this, and we're just gonna throw that right in there. Save that. Okay, yeah, I think we got pretty much everything. Oh wait, I do need to add the Rager Blade. Right here. Except indented so that you line up with everything. Or whatever. I don't know. Sure. Rager Blade there. Okay, now we have all that. Perfect. Perfecto. So now we can actually test the Lycanite system. It should work. Everything seems to be working, but I don't know why it wasn't working that one time. That's so weird. Yeah, see now it's still it's back it's fixed. What did I do differently, bro? I swear I didn't change shit. Or maybe I did. Who knows? Okay, so now we're gonna put a Cinder Blade on. Sure. You have a blade slot? Yeah, you had a blade slot. Maybe not. You had a blade slot, right? Yeah, you had a blade slot. Let's do you. That might be because my script is dumb. My script might be dumb, right? Yeah, my script is dumb. But fascinatingly... Oh, I think it's because its durability is measured via its sharpness up there. Whoa. Now, where's my anvil? Here it is. That's rotten flesh, bro. There's a cool story you got here. Now, if I do this... Oh, now it'll decide to be dumb, but it's whatever, who cares? It adds 50%, scales it to be 33 each, and then reallocates 25% for bludgeoning. Shouldn't that be applied at the end? Wait, this makes no sense. Right? Okay. This. Break the sword. See, now it correctly does that. Oh, because the scaling occurs at the end. The scaling doesn't occur after each step. Right? Right. Distribution modifier registry. Going to dentist. This is cool. Well, thanks for coming by, and good luck at the dentist. Yes, it applies it at the end. So it reallocates it adds the thing. I see how this is happening. It adds the example damage, right? It adds the example damage, which is 50%. Then we're going to reallocate 25%. Which means we take 12.5 from example, 12.5 from the slashing. Then we have bludgeoning. And that means we're going to have 48... No. 12.5. 37.5 example. And then we're going to have 100 minus 12.5 is going to be 77.5. No, 87.5. 87.5 slashing. 20. Or 37.5 example. 37.5 example. 27.5, or sorry, 87.5 slashing. And then 25 bludgeoning. I need to open up a calculator to verify this is working correctly. So we have 87.5. What's the weight we see here? We see 58.33. Okay. And then 25 divided by 150 is 16 point that. And then we have 37.5 divided by 150, which really just is 25. That's really fascinating. So the math is right. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Of course, the math would be right. But that also explains why it's doing the same thing here, because it's the same kind of thing. But it works. And most importantly, it doesn't seem to get messed up. What? What? Why do you have, like, negative knockback, bro? That's hilarious. But why is that being applied there? Because I guess it's because it's not damageable. So its max damage is 0. This also would probably apply to, like, the redstone torch. I guess not. Oh, regular torch then. Yeah. It's doing the same thing to the regular torch. Okay, so that's just a script problem. This is a. I gotta check to make sure that it can be damaged. I can do that by checking stack.isDamageable. Now, if I wanted to check for the Tinker thing, I want to figure out if I can solve that problem. But I need to... It just sets its count to 1. Because then it's checking this. I mean, you'd have to deal with it yourself. I'm not worrying about that. If you wanted to do something like that and something like that happened, you would have to account for that yourself. And that's when you could use the on hit events to like really tweak it and stuff. So that's fine. That's fine. Everything else seems to be good. I mean, this works. The like the modifiers work now. I don't know what changed. I don't know why it works now but didn't before. I don't know why the thing it's saying is not the same. I don't know why those maps are like that, but I mean, I'm sure, you know, I can verify that it works by swapping out a piece, like say the Raedra blade, right? Like this is going to do a touch of lightning damage. Yep. Okay, perfect. If I put this here now, and I take this out, and I put this here, I mean, yeah. I mean, it gets renamed the crafted equipment. I would have to put it back here to rename it. In this instance, but I mean, yeah, that definitely works. Let's check with the this. If I swap out a knife blade or so. Yeah, we can do some of that, and then we'll do an Electrum one, because that has a bit of lightning. We'll do that, because that has a bit of poison, and then, you know, we'll hit a whole bunch of different damage types. And, I mean, yeah, we hit a whole bunch of different damage types. Yeah, I mean, that works. Okay, seems to be working. Okay, so that seems to work, which is nice. Now there was one thing. This linked damage distribution. Spartan weaponry used it, right? Oh, it's back up here. Yeah, yeah. I'd have to take a look at all of that stuff. Oh, well, hold on. Okay, that's definitely something. I wonder if I could do a similar thing with Lycanites for the projectile charges. I probably could. I probably should. And I could do the same thing for Tinkers too, where it would need to get the stack. That's interesting, because I need to like pass in that item stack as a reference. Except not really. This thing does the same thing where it just sets that. This gets put in the projectile one. So it probably, actually, I can probably do this here. Wrong update. Does it need to copy for this? It's just a linked thing. Maybe not. Entity thrown weapon. And then I need to get the weapon stack. Maybe it's better to have this like this, because then I can just pass that one, and that distribution reference will point to the distribution reference for that. This is all just for tooltips anyway, so it's... So it'll point to the distribution used for the projectile. Or well, it'll point to the distribution used for the stack, which, yeah. We'll do this here. That might be a little bit better. And now it'll just set that reference, which it can use for getting the damage distribution for that. Though I suspect I'm going to run into a very similar problem. Or maybe not. I guess we could always see. I'm going to make a new class here. If I do something like this. And I basically do the same thing I did here. Except different. Okay. That should hopefully link the projectile thing better for that. Now, Lycanites. base projectile entity. Now, this one probably isn't going to have many changes to it because it's just a regular projectile, but don't want to do that. This one links, but does this to get the damage distribution. Because there's no other way it can get the damage distribution during runtime except through this. That allows us to update and grab that damage distribution and save it, and then just return it. Yeah. Do this. Do that. Now cast it. That seems better. Now I'm not rewriting the same code, so let's go here and do the same thing. Okay, take util dot get projectile handler for you dot if present actually this dot ref equals I can't set it to the projectile handler, but I do need to map it. Dot map to functions dot do this. Actually, don't even bother with that. Do that. Change you to handler. Get rid of this. Get damage distribution from handle. Oh wait. Fingers link projectile distribution. Get damage distribution from handler. This can be static. Or else null. Put that there. Now comment out that. That's definitely not how you do that. Comment out that, then import everything we need. What's your problem? Oh, this needs to be a flat map. There we go. Because it's already optional bearing, so that's fine. I don't need to worry about any of that. As the tick util does that for me now. And now I have to go to... I have this, and now I basically have to do a very similar procedure, but slightly different. Did this always just do that? Yeah, for now it's always just returning this. Now I have to basically do the same thing here, where I have to get the base projectile. I have to, well, probably check if it's an instance of base projectile entity, and then do the whole thing here. Base projectile entity. Are you... What do? You do projectile that is not null and projectile the entity name that doesn't equal that, then we set it to that. And we do that. Okay. And there's our copy map from distribution. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Maybe this one doesn't need an update again. I don't think it does. Let's add a constructor that takes the string. Wait, I wouldn't need it for this one then, because it's already gonna be there. Yeah, what am I doing? I don't need this. I mean, I needed it for the Tinker thing, but not for the other thing. Because I can just put this here. And that would work. In theory. Okay, so that seems good. I think that's good. I think that's good. I've let's go back to our to-do. Um, we definitely did some good stuff with this. We haven't gotten ourselves able to read old MBT data, but we did some polishing up with tooltips and stuff. I feel like the capability modifier event or the capability modifiers are good now. I haven't exhaustively tested it, but it seems pretty good. Huh. All right. I mean, I'd say I think that's a wrap. Probably wrap it here. I think. But yeah, this was neat. I'm gonna wrap the stream here because I have some things I need to do today. So it's about my usual time anyway. But I'll leave it like that. I'll come back to this later. So yeah, with that, I'm gonna get going.